thing here. Now, we're sitting here with Herman Moore. We got our shirts, too. We're holding up to the cameras right there. Dude. We'll talk about this again on the air, too, Herman. But we're just kind of hanging out now. Back to back.
Back to back.
What was it like when you guys beat the Cowboys? Seriously, man, what was it like? Because we went nuts, but what was it like for you as a player?
It was awesome because it was a great run. We were one of probably two or three teams at that time. Even the Green Bay, I think, were in the conversation. It was Dallas, Green Bay, the Lions at the 91 turn, where who's going to take over and be that team of the decade.
Right.
And when we handedly beat up on Dallas, it seemed like they had crowned us the team, that we became that next team. We had to get past Washington. And, of course, we know how that all worked out. But it was great because they were a loaded team. You think about it. Look at the offensive line. They had Emmett. They had Michael. They had Troy Aikman. And defensively, they had a really good defensive unit as well. So it was a really good team, well-coached team.
Did you have time, though, to at least kind of take it in? For people who've never gone to a game at the Silverdome, the chaos of the Silverdome.
If you haven't experienced it, and people who have experienced it and then they go to Ford Field, you can start to see that energy now. But we had that every week, every time we were at home. And it was a tough place for teams to come in and play. So we really welcomed people there. We played with a different type of attitude and a different chip than what we would have sometimes on the road.
Tougher for the visiting team or for anybody in the upper deck?
Upper deck, I would imagine, because that sound was rising. And it would be weird because our eyes, you could be down on the field and everyone would start to cheer. Your eyes would jump a little bit, like you were standing too close to a speaker.
What?
Or something like that, yeah. And
wow.
So, it would just be that loud inside because it held all the sound. It was amazing.
Was it Jimmy Page? We interviewed him once, and we asked him, we figured Led Zeppelin. We're like, there's no way he's going to remember the Silverdome. He goes, oh, yeah, it was chaos, man. It was like being inside Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
The fact that he went, that place is crazy.
Yeah. And it was, it was always fights. Anytime we were standing in the huddle, you look back, you turn around, someone's fighting up in the thing. And it became kind of ordinary. It wasn't a distraction. I think the opponents were more or less like, hey, these people up here fighting. We're like, that's just, it'll die down a little bit.
Do you think players ever get caught up watching Barry when you're on the field with him?
The opponents, yeah.
Do you seriously
we can't. So I always tell people, they always say, tell me your favorite Barry Sanders run. And I go, well, I can't. I could tell you post game. I could tell you afterwards after I see the footage because we're actually in it. Barry's behind me, so I don't get to see all the people he's making miss. I don't see that he's started on the left. He goes to the right, and then you go back and you watch game film on Monday if it was a Sunday game, and you go, man, all that happened on that one play.
Are y'all just laughing in the film room?
Oh, I love it. I love going back right now. I used to wonder, why everybody keeps going back and looking at just Barry Sanders highlight. Why don't we go and watch the receivers like myself and Brett Perriman and Johnny Morton blocking for Barry or Lomas? No, I go back and I look, and you start to isolate. You look at the player and how all these players are moving around when Barry makes a move, like everyone moves. Like everyone in the defense is like, where's Barry? And that's nice power. That's pretty good.
And it's always, I was thinking about this because when you watch the Lions now, like with Gibbs and a play's never over. Right. With the way they are. And with Barry, you couldn't just throw one block and you're done. You had to stay with your block for God knows how long because you never knew what he was going to do.
You kind of knew what he was supposed to do,
but that's
you
not
never knew what he
did.
was going to do. And but to his credit, Barry would bail us out. Sometimes when things didn't go right, and he just used his special powers that we saw in his legs and his feet, and do some phenomenal things. And he is one of those ones where they say it's generational talent, or it's even in the history of the game. He has his own style. He has his own legacy that no one's ever going to be able to take that. And it extends beyond just the statistics and the records of it, just what his abilities were.
Well, I was, Donnie, we were talking about it this morning, like number 10 pick, but out of Virginia. I remember watching you in college going, who is this dude? You had swagger for days, dude. I mean, coming out of college, you knew what you were about, right?
Oh yeah. I'm from the 2 up, 2 down state. For those that may be watching 2 up, 2 down, that's Virginia, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to have a little bit of a chip, and when you're not playing in the ACC or the Big Ten, I mean in the SEC or the Big Ten, and you're coming from the ACC, you're considered not really coming from a school that produces or puts out those type of players. And So you come in and you have that little bit to get over, and we get overlooked quite often in the ACC. But coming here, I kind of proved that, man, the guys from the ACC aren't very good because I had a disastrous first year. But then when I started to really put it all together and really realize I was supposed to be here, it just settled in and had a nice 7-year run that was amazing personally.
So not naming names, would never do this. But were there people when you lined up and you looked across the line, you went, just lick your chops and go, I'm going to make a meal out of this guy today?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Just think of it like this: you want a receiver that goes up and gets in awe of the person that's in front of him, or the one that gets in front of him. You go, who did you piss off to get this job?
Right.
Like
I love that attitude.
Who did you get on the bad side of to have to get this task? And I would always tell people, and it's not an arrogance, it's a confidence thing. I would always say, who is a coordinator for this defense? And once I destroy this first guy, how are they going to adjust the defense? So I want to know what's the MO of the defensive coordinator to then shift once you start to beat that coverage. And then that was the goal, because if I didn't beat that guy, that means I lost the battle the entire game, because they didn't have to do anything. He did his job and I didn't do mine.
I see a lot of receivers ducking around Brian Branch now. They slide, man. That dude, he sells out every time, doesn't he?
He's probably like, if you want to find me, find me. That's good. I'm coming for you. I'm just gonna play football. He's playing football, and you want guys to be careful. You want them to play the game, and I just think they play with an aggression that you have to have, and you can't play with the fear. You can't play with the worry. And I know they're not out there trying to hurt players, but they just play at a mentality that they're playmakers. I love playmakers.
Does he kind of remind you of Woodson a little bit? The way he plays?
Woodson was different. He was a big player.
Okay.
These were those 6'2", 6'3" defensive backs. Steve Atwaters, John Lynch. You had linebackers playing safety.
Yeah.
And you just the middle was something to be feared. Now it's about certain different athleticism, speed, ability to cover from one hash to another hash in the secondary. But Rod was and Dion, these bigger corners, they were just really good at their technique. They were very sound in their abilities and their assignment, and that made them tough. It's tough to go against players that are disciplined players.
Well, you want to see Dion coach the Cowboys?
I think it'd be fun for the league.
You were so PC this morning. I love this.
Yeah.
But he would take his son, right? I mean, you'd assume he'd take his son. He'd want him there, or would he take Travis Hunter?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he's going to make sure somebody's a first-round pick.
Right, yeah. Somebody from Colorado.
I always tell people an interesting story with Dion, because I went against, Darryl Green. A lot of the Hall of Famers, Arneas Williams, Darryl Green, Rod Woodson, all these guys. But Dion was the most interesting one, because he was very polite and kind and friendly at the line of scrimmage. He didn't talk a lot of trash, even though you may see him with some of the others. He gets a little competitive, but he would always come up and go, "Is this a run or a pass?" Like, he would literally walk up to me and say, "Is this a run?" He'd
ask you,
"Is this a run or a pass?" And he was like, "Man, if it's a run, let's run off. Want to run off. And if it's a pass, he's like, what route are you running?" Like, he would literally ask you, "What route are you running?" And I think it was just tongue in cheek, but he was fun. It was just a fun league, and it's good to see that there's still guys that get along. But you got to have that adversary and that adversarial type of thing going on to actually bring out the best in you.
There you go.
You can't be just friendly with everybody. It's not going to get it done.
So you're not going to give us a score?
It's not a pickup game.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. It's not a pickup game. There we go, Herman. All right. Hold on. We're getting back there in a second. All right, Jana, we're good. Thank you. Yeah, so we tape that, and we're going to that's what we'll put up on YouTube. We'll send that to you, Matt, that whole segment.
Awesome.
Can't believe you didn't give the score, Herm.
I'm very excited about it.
I think it's going to be high scoring, personally, because anytime the Lions have faced a mobile quarterback, they've always had offensive output.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there will be.
He's fun to watch.
I think 50. I think it'll go over 50 points. Yeah,
Jaden won me my fantasy league. Nobody took him early, and I'm like, by the halfway through the season, I was like, "Were you a genius?" I'm like, "No, just because the only guy left."
Yeah, I mean, for Daniels, man, as a rookie, I'm like, he put up some pretty. Normally you would see those rookie quarterbacks that are starters. Their interceptions are usually pretty up there,
right?
And he's kept it pretty down.
That's always the thing about Peyton Manning. It was like Peyton Manning was the best. I'm like, first year he threw like 300 interceptions.
Yeah. They were giving away like
20 something. It was horrible his first year.
And raise your hand if you didn't get an interception this year. Here you go.
That was Justin Herbert. Oh God. Oh man.
Some of these guys, I was amazing to see the collapse of Sam Darnold in the last 2 games. I mean, after the Lions really beat him up.
Was him just getting rattled? Or was that the Campbell hangover from that game?
I think that was a hangover from that one. I think he was still not really out of the works. And I think they came after him, and even when he didn't have pressure, he thought he had pressure or something. I don't know what happened there.
Who was that rookie for the Rams? That end? That kid was going nuts. And I can't remember his name now. This one, he just kept getting the edge over and over and over. Yeah. What do you have, 9 sacks on him in that Rams game?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like once somebody's got his number, then you know.
He had 9 sacks?
Yeah. They had 9 sacks.
Oh.
There was 9 sacks against.
Jeez. What's the most sacks by one player in the game?
I have no idea.
I think Mac touched it was 5 last year, or tied it.
How many sacks did St. Brown have?
Oh God. You have a sack?
I was trying to throw him a curve.
I see. Let me think about which one. Okay. We've had the lady on that has the upside down cake, Heather, the home bakery. They told them yesterday they've had over 2,000 people come out there.
Oh, for the home bakery cake?
Yeah.
I go there. I kill downtown Rochester.
Yeah.
I go there just for dessert. Go pick me up a cake.
Have you ever tried the apple fritters?
I get the apple fritters. I get the donuts. I go and actually get a cake. And they say, what do you want? And I said, nothing.
Don't tell me you're eating all this food and you're still in shape, Herman. That's killing me, man.
Come on, man. Got to get it done.
All right. Hey, good morning, Big Jim's house. Jim O'Brien, Danielle Flailing, Jenny, and Herman Moore, ladies and gentlemen, in studio. Dude, Chrissy, these shirts are amazing. Chrissy, get on the mic there real quick.
Oh, thank you.
Hop in there real quick. Thank you so much for these. Brought them in. I got them up here, hold them on the camera. First time in franchise history, back to back, right there, man.
And it's on the back of the shirt, which I find very, I mean, come on.
Yep.
That's like fitting, that's just ironic, you know.
Like clever, you know. I mean, it's, where else are you going to put it? But it's still, like it works for me. Really nice.
I always tell people, like, my stomach's not flat, but my back is, so that's why I want all the artwork on the back. You're going to steal that, Herman. You owe me.
That's going to end up on a shirt. You know who you're messing with. But we're end up putting that on a shirt.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Lions Nation Unite. And it's such a, I remember when you guys launched this, and it was kind of going, I'll be totally transparent. I was wondering where it was going to go. Mm-hmm. And the way you've connected with the community is just fun. It's fun. You and Lomas have a great time together. You can tell that it's genuine respect and love, and the men and women who jump in on here. And I would highly encourage you to get involved with this. It's just, I keep coming back to the same word, fun, Herman. You got to be having a blast doing this.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. But, you know, as with anything else, you can't do it without a team. And even when we look to build the Lions Nation Unite community, it was built on the fact that as a former player, I understand the passion that the fans have, but their voice is only about, will you buy a ticket? But if you give a platform where you can come and congregate, where you can bring in a lot of the content creators to say, you know what, you don't have to lose your brand identity, come in and be a part of our community and continue to uplift the what you like about this team, what you like about following this organization, and what you like about saying that you're a person and a fan of this professional sports team. But what I've learned is the relationships and the camaraderie and the travel is no different than what we have on the field. They just have it outside in the stadium and in the seating area and in the tailgating. It's the same thing. They have their own community and their own rituals and game day preparation. And so I wanted to be a part of that and now partake in it. And now having someone like Chrissy who has come in and really
awesome,
understood,
yeah,
you know, how to bring that all, because she's come from the inside of the organization side of how things work. And then also she's, you know, her working with the social media side of it and the digital platform, she's had the pulse of the community there as well. So that's allowed us to bring it all together. And again, you can't do it without a team of people, our content creators, Chrissy, myself, just you all just coming in and also continue to help spread the word. And for those that come in and take their time to just give us their time to be a part of what we're having to say and what we're doing is amazing.
So we know the tailgater guys that have the hot tub down at Eastern Market on Saturday night. You going to jump in?
Do I get to get in with my socks?
Who the hell gets in a hot tub with their socks on, Herman?
I'm going to tell you right now, he considers that human soup.
I do. I didn't want to say it, but now that she said it, I just go, listen, man.
She's not wrong.
Hey, you know,
Not
you start
wrong.
putting that hot water together, man. You just basically mixing in a lot of humans.
I owe you
Yes.
$1. I'm stealing that line.
There's a lot of
That's human soup, man.
stuff
what are you
going
having?
on in there.
What are you guys doing? Just making some human soup and watching the Lions game,
Hey, once you get
man.
on there and stand, they start dancing in there. You just stirring it up.
need more
That's
than
all.
socks.
True story. Herman actually ruined all pools, hot tubs, all of it for me when he basically delivered that line. I can't swim anymore. He ruined it.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. You've seen kids.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I have.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
They're not getting out.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're not. They
Here-
can
and adults
stay in there
neither.
for hours,
Adults either. That's why if it's more than one person in there,
right? You know
enter
what
in
you're
your own
doing.
risk.
Human soup. So, when we're watching Jahmyr Gibbs, and we've talked about this before, is there a comparable to him? Is there someone that like you played with or played against, and you go, he reminds me of him?
I think we look at players and we always say a player reminds us of someone because
Sure.
you try and it's almost like it's a tribute. You're actually paying them a compliment, but you don't realize that we all possess abilities and talents, and then there's these different things that come out. Saquon Barkley, when he jumps backwards over a guy, I thought that was somebody just did something like and made that kind of happen, but I guess it was real.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
All right.
Wasn't
That was
even
animated.
And
AI.
it's amazing,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But when you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, people, as much as sometimes they want to say that was a Barry type move or that was a different thing. No, this is a Jahmyr Gibbs. And the speed and the way in which he hits the corners and the way in which he runs, and even David Montgomery, everyone has a style, but they remind you of greatness. And I think what happens in there is you look at it and say, this person has the potential to be really, really good because we've seen what greatness looks like in a guy like Barry or like Calvin Johnson or whatever it may be. And when they give you that flash, you now are saying there's a bar that they're meeting. There's an expectation or an opportunity to see them as, ascend to this other height or this level. So that's what I see in Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got his own style. He's got his own way. Tremendous young talent to be doing it this early. Remind you of, again, guys who have had that type of success. And
He
had
runs
long-term-
angry, too. He's not afraid to go in between the
He
tackles.
is not. And when he does, and he plays aggressive, and I had to remind myself when I first met Jahmyr how young he was. And to just be so grounded. But then you hear his story and you understand all the other things that pour into his brand as a person, and you realize how humble he is and how hungry he is at the same time. And it's great to see in such a young player who's having early success to be that grounded. But that is what you see with this entire team, in my opinion.
Is Jameson Williams, has he capped out, or is there still a lot more left in him? It feels like there's more that we haven't seen yet, as great as
There's
he
a lot.
is.
There's a lot more.
Really? Okay.
There's a
All
lot more with this young guy, and he has good size, but he has speed. And if you look at Jay, he doesn't shy away from contact.
No.
I don't care whether he's blocking or whether he wants to get yards after the catch. He plays aggressive as an offensive player, and I think he's come full circle. And I always tell people about there's a process in everything that we do in life. I don't care if it's parenting. I don't care if it's career, creating your career path, preparing a meal, right? Everything has a process. And for him, he's gone through a process, and his process is his process. It's not about what I think he should be and where he should be before he gets there. Maybe he's in front, behind, or running a line with that opportunity. I think he's running now where he's supposed to be. And if he continues to stay around that group and that culture, I think he will continue to ascend to levels that are phenomenal as a receiver.
You're the best. Herman, we appreciate the time coming through with the snow and everything this morning. Obviously, we're going to keep talking. And LionsNationUnite.com, right? That's the best
it.
way. Follow you on all the social platforms as well. And Chrissy, thank you so much for coming in. I know you left your house at 3 a.m. yesterday to get here through the snow. So
Traffic and weather. I can
I was
go for
going
you.
to send the helicopter, man, but you know what? The weather was inclement weather. I
Traffic and
couldn't send
weather
the
is
helicopter.
bad. Bad.
there you go. Same. We'll have to use that as our traffic word for tomorrow, Donnie.
Right? You can just do the traffic moving forward.
Will we be having a parade on Woodward sometime in February, Herman?
We will.
That's what I needed to hear. Yeah. Now Donnie's all anxious.
It's fine. It's fine. There's
Now let's see what he follows up
One
with
game
that
at a time.
comment with.
We'll
No,
get
I was
there
just
one
trying
game
to
at a
match.
time.
I was just trying to match her, her voice, her delivery. I just want to bring
That
mine.
vibe?
I just wanted to
Okay.
bring mine down just a little bit like that.
What, do you want me to dim the lights and get Alan Allman?
No,
What the
we don't
hell's
have to do
going
that.
on
We
here,
don't have to do
man?
that. I just have to not just be so high pitched. I need to bring it down to here.
You're
so as we're
fine,
talking
dude.
and we're talking, so I can just match yours as well.
Okay.
So the listeners is here. We appreciate you, chiming in.
What is this? The quiet storm all of a sudden this morning?
That's the quiet snow.
The quiet snow. Don't say that again because it's too good. Don't do that.
Come on
You're
now.
going to make another shirt out of that one. Herman Moore, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy.